Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The bright studio lights have always loved Kelly Ripa. For decades, she's greeted millions of viewers each morning with her signature mix of laughter, warmth, and effortless energy. But behind the polished smiles and the cheerful banter, a storm has been brewing, one that has left the beloved host in devastating tears. It began quietly, almost unnoticeably, the way many life-altering moments do. Friends of the couple recall that Mark Consuelos, Kelly's husband of nearly 3 decades, had seemed off for weeks, more tired, less talkative, and often retreating early from social gatherings. Kelly, ever intuitive, sensed something deeper. She kept saying she just had this feeling, a close friend revealed. She knows him better than anyone, and she could tell something wasn't right. At first, Mark brushed off her concerns. Like many people juggling demanding schedules, he assumed fatigue, stress, and long filming days were the culprits. But as time went on, subtle symptoms became impossible to ignore. Persistent headaches, weight loss, nights where sleep brought no rest. Kelly urged him to get checked, and when he finally agreed, she never imagined that decision would shatter the very foundation of their world. When the diagnosis came, the words hung in the air like shards of glass. Kelly's heart dropped. Mark, her partner, her best friend, the father of her children, was facing a health battle that would test every ounce of strength they had. She couldn't speak, said one insider. It was like the air had been taken from her lungs. She kept repeating, "This can't be real." For someone whose life has been defined by brightness, laughter, and connection, the news sent Kelly into an emotional spiral. Her colleagues noticed her demeanor shift. The laughter on Live with Kelly and Mark came less easily. The sparkle in her eyes dimmed ever so slightly. On camera, she remained professional, determined to give audiences the same joy they had come to expect. But off camera, those closest to her witnessed a different Kelly, one grappling with fear, heartbreak, and helplessness. She cried every night, said another friend. She didn't want the kids to see her fall apart, but it's hard to hide that kind of pain. Mark, ever the steady presence in her life, tried to comfort her even as he began his own journey of acceptance. His courage, those close to the family say, has been extraordinary. He's been the one reassuring everyone else, one family insider shared. He keeps telling Kelly, "We're going to get through this, together." Their marriage, already one of Hollywood's longest-lasting, has entered an even deeper chapter. Through the tears and sleepless nights, Kelly has rediscovered the power of love in its rawest form. Unconditional, unguarded, unbreakable. She's by his side through every appointment, every test, every uncertain moment. She won't let him go through this alone, said the insider. Kelly's not just his wife, she's his fighter. In private moments, Kelly has spoken about how Mark's diagnosis has shifted her perspective on life. Friends say she's learned to slow down, to appreciate the small, quiet moments, the smell of morning coffee, the sound of laughter echoing through their home, the feeling of Mark's hand in hers. "She told me she doesn't take a single sunrise for granted anymore," one friend confided. "Every day feels like a gift." Still, the pain lingers. There are days when Kelly breaks down in tears, overwhelmed by fear of what the future might hold. Her emotions, usually hidden behind a polished smile, have spilled through in recent episodes of Live. Viewers have noticed her voice cracking when she mentions family, her eyes glistening with unshed tears during heartfelt segments. She's trying to stay strong for the audience, but you can tell she's hurting. One fan wrote online after a recent show, "What makes Kelly's heartbreak resonate so deeply is how human it is. Beneath the glamour, she's a wife terrified of losing her husband, a mother trying to shield her children from pain, a woman clinging to hope even as life tests her in unimaginable ways." Insiders say the couple has leaned heavily on their faith and their children, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, who have all rallied around their father. "They're an incredibly tight family," a source said. "They've been through so much together, but this has brought them even closer." Mark, meanwhile, has faced his diagnosis with quiet dignity. Though he's kept details private, those who've seen him describe a man determined to fight, not just for himself, but for Kelly and their children. He tells everyone he's lucky, one friend revealed. He says, "I've had a beautiful life, a beautiful family, and I'm not done yet. For Kelly, that fighting spirit has been both her anchor and her inspiration. Despite her tears, she's channeled her grief into gratitude. On her morning show, she's begun speaking more openly about resilience, health, and cherishing loved ones, subtle but powerful reminders of what she's living through behind the scenes. In a recent episode, her words struck a chord with millions. Sometimes life gives you moments that completely change you. You realize what really matters, the people you love, the time you have, the memories you make. Everything else, it's just noise. Viewers flooded social media with messages of support, unaware just how personal those words were. Behind closed doors, Kelly and Mark continue their fight, hand in hand, heart to heart. They've chosen to face this chapter not with despair, but with love. Friends say Kelly's optimism, though fragile at times, remains unbroken. She believes in miracles, one insider said softly, and she believes in Mark. Those who know Kelly best say this journey has changed her profoundly. She's learned to live more deeply, to love more fearlessly, and to cry without shame. She used to think strength meant smiling through everything, said one longtime friend. Now she knows real strength means allowing yourself to break and still choosing to stand again. As for Mark, his focus remains simple: healing, hope, and family. Every morning, as the cameras roll and Kelly steps onto the set, she carries his courage with her. The world may see a glowing television host, but beneath that glow lies a woman walking through one of life's darkest valleys, guided by love, faith, and the unshakable belief that tomorrow can still bring light. And though Kelly's tears have been many, they are not tears of defeat. They are tears of love, proof that even in pain, her heart remains open, fierce, and full. Because at the end of it all, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelo's story isn't one of tragedy. It's one of devotion, of standing together when the world falls apart, of finding beauty in brokenness. As Kelly once said in a rare moment of vulnerability, love doesn't protect you from pain, it just makes it worth surviving. And she's right, because through every devastating tear, love still wins. In the weeks that followed the diagnosis, Kelly Ripa's world began to slow down in unexpected ways. The relentless pace of television, the meetings, the rehearsals, everything that once filled her days seemed suddenly unimportant. The only thing that mattered now was time with Mark, time with their family, time to simply be. Close friends describe how Kelly rearranged her entire schedule. She began filming segments earlier, carving out afternoons so she could accompany Mark to his appointments. She refused to miss a single one. She told the producers, "Family first," always, one crew member recalled. No one argued. Everyone knew what she was going through. The show's team quietly rallied behind her, covering gaps, rewriting scripts, and ensuring she could step off set at any moment. Viewers may not have noticed the subtle shift, but those in the studio felt it. A quiet tenderness, an unspoken understanding that their beloved host was carrying something heavy. At home, Kelly and Mark's once busy Manhattan apartment transformed into a sanctuary. Gone were the late-night dinner parties and the buzz of constant visitors. In their place came candlelight dinners for two, soft music playing in the background, and long, quiet conversations about life, love, and the future. She's never been more present, a family friend shared. Every touch, every glance, every word, she holds onto it like it's sacred. Mark, too, found a new kind of peace. He often jokes that he's learning to appreciate the slow life, even if it wasn't by choice. He spends mornings reading in the garden, afternoons walking their dog with Kelly, and evenings watching old movies together, moments that once slipped by unnoticed, now held tightly like rare jewels. But not every day is easy. Some mornings begin with strength, and others begin with tears. Kelly, who's always prided herself on being the rock of her family, admits to close friends that she sometimes feels like she's falling apart inside. She'll put on her makeup, smile for the cameras, and the minute she's off air, the tears come, one insider confided. It's her way of surviving. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our USA Daily Drop for all updates.